Well, everybody, this is Down with the Vlog of Many Things. With me for our Tuesday lunch chat is Steve, Glenn, and Tom. Eric is off filling his niece's head with MacBook knowledge. So, um,
Good for him.
Matt, how you doing? Matt Sherman's in the house. Nice
Hello,
to
Matt.
see you, Matt. Oh, Tuesday lunch chat. What do we talk about today?
Well, first, buy my book.
By Glenn's book.
One of these days, I'm going to do a
Oh,
graphic
crazy.
where I can have it like floating right along. Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Echo, echo.
Oh, Glenn, I had an idea for your next book. Since the title is When the Fat Orc Sings, and that kind of comes out of opera, you should find another phrase that's entered the common parlance out of opera for the next book.
I bet you got one.
The idea just popped in my head. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'd
Okay.
have to spend time looking for a phrase that came out of opera parlance.
I don't know where that title came from out of my head, but there it is.
Or how about when the bard breaks a leg? A little theater.
How about when a bard breaks wind?
Well, shall we talk a little bit about Dan Frazier?
Wait a minute, I got to write that down. Go ahead.
Dan Frazier. Anyone know who he is?
Who?
Yeah, who
That's
is
the name.
He's the One Ring copier.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's the artist who painted over the One Ring.
Oh,
And
nice.
people are defending him, saying no, he didn't. And I can tell you right now, he copied over the image, just basically Photoshop it out. Because when you do them top and bottom above each other, there's actually parts of it that he left in on accident. Yeah, he's definitely I don't know. I just don't think that he should be forgiven. Professional artists like that, he fucking stole somebody's work.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show us the pic.
But see, this is what I'm talking about right here. Come on. Restream is rocking it. Let's do this. Let's get to the side here. If you take a look at this, you see how this is the original image. See how the elven writing is right here?
Yeah.
See it right here? You know?
Right.
And then also you can see where he just tried to blur it out through here for this right here. And then the real one, the classic where it looks like an M right here. There's no way that was on accident. You could tell it was done. He copied it. He photoshopped over is what he did.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people do this type of stuff. I mean, people are basically wanting his ass, and I don't blame them. You're a professional artist. You're being paid by WOTC to do this. And they're blaming Wizards of the Coast because I think they just want to hate on WOTC. It's not WOTC's fault.
Yeah.
No, people go, well, it's art director's fault. No, it's not, because the art director is not responsible for making sure you don't plagiarize. They're there to direct the type of art that they want, to make sure that you're following their vision and all that. I'm not saying he's not maybe he's a nice guy, but he came out and admitted what he did, but he only admitted it because he got caught.
So let me ask Steve this, because Steve's he is a published author. You hire somebody to do artwork for your book. They do what this guy did, and then you get a cease and desist from a big corporation ready to sue your ass into oblivion. And what do you do? What do you do after something like that happens?
Well, if I didn't know any better, I'd say I accepted it in good faith. I didn't know. Now that I know, I'm going to reject it. And you got to go talk to him because that's his fault.
Right.
Yeah, but you're selling the book, and they're saying cease and desist. You got to pull your from the marketplace.
It depends on Tom, on your agreement. If you have a written contract that absolves you of that type of thing, it's all in the contract. That's why good contracts are important in this type of stuff. Because legally, in that case, if you don't have a tight contract that protects you, it is Steve's liability because Steve published the book.
Right.
Now, if Steve has a very tight agreement with the artist, that the artist says, I won't plagiarize somebody else's work. Yeah, Steve can still be sued, but then there's some legal back and forth. And most people who do a C&D will work with you on that. They'll be like, we don't want you. It's not your fault. We know. We want to go after him.
Yeah.
Or they just go after the
We,
market. That's the
we
most.
can assume that WOTC probably has a tight contract because they.
Oh, yeah. They do. They're
God
very.
forbid they have to reprint.
Well, I think this was a card, and I
Oh.
think this was a limited amount of cards.
Okay.
I don't
Oh.
know what the exact amount was.
Magic.
Magic's Gathering. I think it was Chad. How you doing? It was very limited, like special edition card. The One Ring. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but I think that's what I read a couple different places.
Okay. Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're opening yourself. That's why contract,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got to make sure that and I'll tell you how it really works is with lawyers is they go after who has the money. So WOTC's clamping down on this because WOTC knows that they're open up for liability from the original artist now.
Oh yeah.
Huge thing. Well, and this is the thing. Look at WOTC did to Justin Lanasso at TSR over trademarks and violating their marks and everything. They take it very seriously.
Yeah. And it's not their first rodeo either with this.
No, it's not. And then you have I guess you got Dungeon Delver in Oregon is out there now. Boy, he's opening a can of worms with WOTC that I wouldn't even touch a 10-foot pole. Do you know what the background on that is, Tom?
Oh, well, he's been I guess he's like doing a reprint of the original OD&D box set and just gonna sell it and
off of Drive-Through RPGs PDF.
Oh man.
Yeah. Just bizarre that somebody gets something in his head like this and I'm gonna do this. Part of the problem is that people buy and sell and trade in those white boxes and the wood grain box. And so when you start putting out these modern reprints, it drops the bottom out of the market. And it's very frustrating. I remember being on eBay and I'm looking at what I really think is a modern reprint of a Star Frontiers module, that's off of Drive-Through reprint, but they're being kind of slick about how they describe it, and they're making it seem like it's from back in the day.
But it's not.
And trying to get $40 for it, and I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
I'll just go on Drive-Through and get it for $7.
Yeah.
Sorry. That kind of thing it's irritating.
Well,
it screws up the market, and it's not ethical and it's not legal.
Well, the thing is and this is the thing about Dungeon Delver that gets me is, I'm going to call him out for what this is. What he's doing is he's stealing Wizards of the Coast's work, their property, like Wizards of the Coast or not. WOTC owns that IP. That's theirs.
Yep.
And and I've seen people basically supporting this, going, "Well, tough shit, screw WOTC." Well, then if you're going to have that attitude, then why can't I just take your work? No, it's different because now I'm picking on you, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what Dungeon Delver's doing is number one, he's running risk of being sued. He obviously has not done his due diligence on what Wizards of the Coast to the extent that they're willing to go. And not only that, but I think then you're also involving other IPs because I think Luke is loosely in control of some of that IP also because of his dad's name and Gygax and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just like a convoluted pile on mess that he's opening. And what gets me the most is he's just openly proud of that he's going to do this. And it's like, dude, you're just going to take somebody else's stuff, reprint it because you want to. Sorry, I'm going to bet with Wizards of the Coast on this one.
Times were back 40 years ago. If you were going to steal something, you kept your mouth shut about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bragging about it
quietly and hope it didn't get noticed. Okay, but now people are like, "Hey, I'm stealing this stuff and whatever."
Well, and the
YOLO.
thing is, what he doesn't get is he's gonna do this. And let's say he does it, he gets away with it for a while. It could be 2-3 years down the road. If WOTC gets wind of it then and goes after him, then what they do is they go after actual damages, perceived damages, and they can go after. It doesn't matter if he says, "Well, I only sold 50 copies." Does not matter. Our
Right.
damages, though, because of the level of exposure and the bottom market and future profits and all this other nonsense.
And they have Hasbro lawyers behind them.
Yeah. Chad says some people are bound and determined to learn the hard way. Well, I'll tell you what, bad.
This is the day and age we live in, where people are like, I'm going to put my cod piece on the anvil and wail away on it with a hammer.
It's just I don't it's just what bothers me the most is he knows this is wrong. I mean, he's not an ignorant, new to the thing, doesn't realize what he's doing. He knows this is wrong. He knows what he's doing is it runs the potential of getting him sued. And I'll guarantee if some entity goes after him in court, he's going to get online and play the victim.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not the victim here, dude. I don't care if the company is a multi-billion-dollar company. You're stealing their IP, their work, their property.
Mm-hmm.
It's like me going online going, I'm going to create me a YouTube channel called Dungeon Delver. He'd be mad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with me creating the dungeon, changing the volume things to Dungeon Delver 2.0? Well, he would be the victim. He's mad because I'm using his property.
Mm-hmm.
In the day and age when you had new TSR squatting on and they didn't learn from the previous folks who had tried to squat on Star Frontier's IP, and we're bringing it back. That company got a C&D and then they dropped it. And the fact that WOTC actually litigated the whole new TSR BS to the point.
Well, because the reason why they did that is because they served Lanasa with a C&D. They did.
Yep.
And Lanasa
countersued.
He didn't even countersue him. What he did is he sued them first, thinking that they would not fight him because of Gygax was involved, because he had Ernie part of the company. Miscalculation, big time.
Well, you should have had a better Gygax involved, number one.
Well, not only that, but as Venture Satana says, surprise, motherfuckers.
It's a little problem.
And there was a lot of people out there who thought, he's got a Gygax behind him, but it's Ernie, and a lot of people thought, you're taking advantage of Ernie. We don't like that.
Yeah, and to an extent he did. RPG Grandma says, someone being a jerk, not being cool. RPG Grandma, Dungeon Delver, who is an online vlogger, I think you know who he is. He announced the other day, I guess, that he is going to be putting out the white box set, which is basically he's reprinting from Drive-Thru RPG PDFs, and he's going to rebox them and sell them on a retail level.
Yeah,
now,
which is not good.
Question: if he's going to just reprint from the Drive-Thru RPG PDF, is it still going to have the little watermark that lists his name in the corner?
Well, if he has the right software, he can remove that watermark easy.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I mean, does he strike you as the type of person who's going to be that thorough and that careful?
No.
Well, evidently he's
really.
as far as cooking the book to even think of this scheme. I mean, holy cow, that's not a smart thing to do, And I really hope he rethinks this, because he's the guy that Hovermail does his live streams for gaming with. What a combo,
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think I'm just think it's not cool at all when you start. I don't care who the company is. Taking other people's IP is not cool at all.
Yeah. And Hovermail, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah. Sherman goes, he gave some away and donated some to cons to use in fundraising auction. Yeah, but the thing is, that's the whole point. You don't have the right to even give it away for auctions to sell, because when you buy that single use, when you buy a PDF from Drive-Thru RPG, that's a single use license.
Yeah.
So if I buy, a 5E manual, I can give it to Tom for Tom to have and play, but I can't give it to Tom for Tom to auction off and make a profit off of, even if
Right.
it's for,
Well,
charity.
even if they do up a nice reprint and they give it for an auction and it auctions off for 1,500 or $2,000, and the people at the auction think that it's legit, that's wrong.
Well, then you get into things like, well, that's fraud. Because how's he marketing it?
Because I think I'm bidding on a geez, just look at this box set. This pristine. I think I'm bidding on an actual pristine box set from 50 years ago, and I'm not. And that's I
Well,
don't want to be shelling out that kind of money.
well, it's like you mentioned eBay.
Yesterday.
Well, you said this earlier, a few minutes ago, about eBay, and I've seen this before where you look at someone's eBay auction and they've got, if it was an original, it would be a really high priced, rare module, but it's a reprint off a drive-through RPG. But the way they photograph it and the way they word it, they're very careful where you can't go back on them with eBay. So it's just basically sucker,
And eBay's almost a buyer beware type of situation.
Could be.
RPG Grandma is clarifying this. She says, my understanding is he is printing the box, but the individual must buy the reprint. But even if he's printing the box, he's still printing IP protected packaging.
Yeah.
Well, RPG Grandma says presumably it'll be marked, but the thing is, even if you mark it, you don't have a license to print it, even if it is marked.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he goes to Wizards of the Coast to get a
That's the
license.
deal.
And there's not going to happen. Ain't no ways they're going to do that.
Well, yeah. After you make an announcement, you're going to steal from Wizards. Then you try to go to them to get a license. Probably not so much, right?
It's always is this internal scheming. It's always this, like RPG Grandma just mentioned. His fix to this is, and thank you for clarifying this, RPG Grandma. He's going to go ahead. He's going to just print the box. Then you go ahead and you buy the books, and you can have a cool thing. Well, you're still printing the box, which is protected. And what stops people from fraudulently taking that and trying to sell it in the secondary market?
Yeah.
For being legit. I mean, I was approached a while ago. I mean, this was back in 2021 by a certain company that talked about reprinting the white box and wood grain sets and asked me, could I do it? And I said, I can do it, but I'm not going to. There ain't no way in hell I'm touching that shit.
Right.
I don't
I'm
blame
not
you.
going to talk about the company because I think we know who the company is, if you like Harry Potter and Voldemort. But the thing is, but these are the things that people come up with and they don't understand is that intellectual property is just that. It's property of somebody else's.
Well, there's some people who just misinterpret the license where they've ruled that mechanics cannot be copyrighted. So they think, everything cannot be copyrighted. So I'll just take everything and reprint it.
Well, that's why
it works.
That's why WOTC owns the term IP is protected as Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
They own that.
I didn't know that.
But Game Master is open. Anyone can use Game Master.
Yeah.
But what they get around the mechanics is they trademark certain terms within the rule sets, which are done in a certain way that basically prevents you from, presumably redoing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same box that Burroughs and Borderlands uses. I don't know. I don't know what. Like I said, Eric mentioned it to me and Tom in chat. I looked at it. I watched the video, a little bit of it, and got so irritated with the video, I just turned off. I was like, you know what? This is just going to frustrate me for the day, so I'm going to walk away from it.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be his lookout. If he gets sued, that's on him. Good luck with that.
More power to him.
I'm certain plenty of vloggers will cover it eventually, and if he is doing wrong, and well, there you go.
He'll get it in the end, in his end.
Well, it's just this fundamental idea that people have online, and not everybody. Thankfully, the majority don't think this way, but there's this core group of people that think, if I want to do it, I can do it. It's the internet.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They
it's
still-
not cool.
They still think the internet is like this 25 years ago when it was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
And they still think it's that way. And it's like, no, not anymore.
Well, 40 years ago, you go back 40 years into the 80s. If you wanted to write but you couldn't write, you weren't going to get published. And then in the 90s, you had these vanity presses like, you can be published. You just got to, drop $500 and we'll give you a case of books and you're published. Those books aren't in stores. The content in them's crap. It's a vanity publishing. Then along, you start to get desktop publishing in the end of the 90s, going into the 2000s. And now here we have, it's almost Wild West. Anybody can be published. You got AI writing for you, illustrating for you, laying out for you. And hey, I'm an author.
But those markets settle. Those markets gradually adjust to the new tech out there and everything. It's like when I had my publishing company. Yeah, we charged a fee, but we did editing. We got your book into stores. I mean, yeah, it's they call it vanity press because you're filling up your vanity, your self vanity by publishing your own book by paying for it.
Yeah.
But my argument is that first of all, submitting your work to be published traditionally, it's like 80% of books are declined. So
For good reason.
Yep, for good reason. Number two, at the end of the day, if your book is in Barnes and Noble, online, available for sale, available for mass purchase, it doesn't matter if you pay for it or not. You're available for mass purchase. You're in Barnes and Noble, Amazon. You're in these other locations. And see, that's the thing with this Wild West you talked about, Tom. You're right. It is a Wild West. It is literally just people thinking that, I don't have to put out quality work, and that's damaged the industry hugely.
Yeah. And
because that's one of
Amazon hasn't made that any easier doing their own press thing.
No,
No,
that's one
because
thing
they
I
don't-
found a lot with with a lot of the stuff I'm finding online is it's very much it's garbage that and I'm not saying that to promote my stuff. I'm just saying even if I wasn't an author, I could look at a lot of this stuff that's coming out now online and it's self-published and all this stuff, and it's the reason why the old gatekeepers were so useful back in the day, because they kept this garbage off the shelves, because it's just people throwing out garbage and look at me, I'm special, I'm an author, come bow at my feet and kiss my toes and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, no, man, don't if you're not going to produce something good, don't publish, period.
See, but then you get into the infamous question you just raised. What is good? What is good? What is not good?
Oh, hang on, I got somebody at the door. I got to
Hello?
be right back.
And that's a subjective,
That's my hope. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Us three here can pull up, show me the best book you love and show me the worst book that you hate.
Mhm.
And we'll each have a different book.
Right.
I do not like romance novels, but there are people out there that swear by them, that love them. I mean, I love fantasy and not sci-fi so much, but I love fantasy novels. But there are people like Tom. Tom's a good example. Tom likes Star Frontiers. I prefer Gamma World. It's not the fact that Tom's right, I'm wrong, he's right. It's just preference. And Tom is a little bit, messed up in the head for liking Star Frontiers better than Gamma World, but we forgive him for that.
Hey, at least he doesn't like Traveler. So,
True.
okay.
Well, what's that? Cepheus engine? I like Cepheus engine. And I have had a character die during character creation. So
Okay.
We'll forgive you this one time. One time.
But years ago, when we were producing the Frontier Explorer fan magazine, one of the fans of Star Frontiers, he's like, "Yeah, I got a book I published," and so I was like, "Really? Tell me, I'll do a review of it." And so I ordered his book off of Amazon, got it, started reading it, and was like, "Oh my God, I cannot put a review for this book in our magazine," because our magazine was explicitly that we were trying to be family friendly. We weren't going to put anything too graphic, in it, even though it's just you might only interact with it as a PDF.
Right.
This thing was so horrific. And so I tried to give him some feedback, and it broke our friendship.
Wow.
But see,
Just
there's
give
the
me
whole
feedback.
key here is I would much rather you tell me, okay, it's okay for you to say, Don, I don't like your book. I respect that as long as you follow up to my question and say, Tom, what don't you like about it? Just don't say, I think your book sucks. Fine, you do. But tell me, what is the parts that you don't like about it? What are the things that are wrong with it? Because I take it as a learning curve. I can learn.
The rape scene in chapter 1.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right there.
I can't put this in the magazine because it goes against the rules we laid down.
Yeah.
And the other editor was just as religious as I am, just in a different group.
Mhm.
So I just knew it was a non-starter for him, and it was definitely a non-starter for me. And you at the end of the day, you don't want to lose readership and following because people have bought into what you're doing with a fan magazine. So they're like, what the hell is this crap you're putting in here now?
Well,
This
see, there's
magazine
the,
used to be good, but now it's you're recommending books with rape and
but that's the thing though. That the whole point is this though is, there's nothing wrong with books that involve rape, in the sense that let me follow through with this because I just made a big statement here. Is when you've got a book that what your audience is, like as an example, I have a book called Soccer Mom. It's a murder mystery.
Mhm.
But the thing is, the victims of the killings are children. Okay. I did it based on a true set of stories that were happening in Calhoun County back in the 60s.
Mhm.
But I changed it up. Now, am I recommending that book for the 9th grade reading club at the local junior high? No, I'm not. But for people who like murder mysteries that are liking that more realistic, that's great for them. But,
Well, let me
depends on the audience.
back this up. I mean, I watch SVU, Law and Order SVU, and they
Mhm.
have rape in there. It is a topic,
Mhm.
but it is not. If what was in this book was if you had filmed it, it would have been graphic porn,
Mhm.
like of the most brutal sort.
Right.
And
And that's the other thing. I mean, how realistic do you want to get? You don't got to go through every single graphic part of it. It's like with mine. I know I'm involving children. Okay. I don't have to get into the nut and gritty of what happened. I can kind of overtly cover it in general. You get the idea what's happening, and you basically can move on with the story. Certain people and RPG Grandma says this. She has family-friendly fan mag can't put certain things in print or support. Now, a Chult fan mag might be different. Yes, Venger Satanis. Well, Venger Satanis is a self-admitted. He's kind of like the shock jock of RPGs. He has his audience. Is it something that I would like to play?
Yeah.
From everything I've read of his, he's very talented at what he does, but it's just not my cup of tea.
He's very smart. He's a very nice guy. If you talk to him, to have a one-on-one conversation with him, very smart guy, very great to talk to, very polite. I enjoyed conversations I had with him.
Everybody says that about him.
I just can't go where he goes in the
Yeah.
gonzo shock jock kind of RPG.
I don't blame
Not
you.
my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah, and the thing is again, this is the whole thing I tell authors all the time with writing is, there's nothing that is, there's no such thing as a bad book to be published. What it is you're a bad author if you don't take the help that's offered to you. Listen to your editors. Listen to your feedback from your
Right.
test readers. If you've got 5 test readers and every single one of them have a problem with some things that are happening in chapter 1, you might want to look at chapter 1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the other thing, we talk about, sexual assault and things like that in books. Yes, they're a legitimate subject that some types of writing covers, but there's the thing where you don't have to go really in depth sometimes. Sometimes you can be vague and get the point across. Chad says, it's also a matter of how the subject is handled. Is it treated in a mature, thoughtful way, or is it intended to titillate and fetishize the subject? Exactly. You all right, Steve?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. RPG Grandma says, Venger is a good person, but yep, shock Chalk TTRPG. Exactly. So
Well, you gotta have at least one person out there who is the Howard Stern of the RPG space.
yes, and then you have people like Steve who just don't understand the basics that lizards can't purse their lips. Oh, Steve, how many years ago was that? What was that, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago? That
Something
was?
Well-
like that, yeah.
Well, I just found another NPC for my second book, a talking lizard that pursed its lips.
That's right. Steve got hit pretty hard by that reviewer too on that. That reviewer was upset.
Wow.
How dare you try to do something that isn't realistic?
RPG Graham makes good points. RPG Graham says vague is sometimes better. My dad used to say this about the sexualization on TV and such. My dad used to say that, for him, a woman who is scantily clad is far more sexy than a woman who is butt ass naked.
I've heard
Because
that
it
a lot.
leaves you kind of to your imagination.
Mhm.
I think that the same theory with writing is when you write, you can get to your point, and sometimes being vague is even better because you're not giving that reader quite as much as they want, and it makes them want to read on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's all
Always-
just subject matter.
Always hold a little back. for
Yes.
next time.
Always hold a little back. So speaking of, it's just kind of a general question. Steve, we'll go around the proverbial table here. What are you currently working on? What's happening in Steve's world as far as writing and books and such?
Well, I'm working. I'm finishing posting. We'll be finishing posting over the next 2 weeks. The rest of Mage Fall 1 over at Royal Road and Scribble Hub, and then I'm also working on the follow-up book for that. I'm right now. I'm just building the initial stories for it, so that's probably not going to be ready until fall. And I've got Vessels of Power still sitting in the background. I've got to get book 3 ironed out because right now it's an absolute book 3 is an absolute bloody nightmare. Of course, that's initial draft. Once that's sorted out and I get book 2 happy, then I'm going to go ahead and finish book 1 and try to have it out by August or September of this year.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Glenn, what about you?
Well, like I said, I promoted my first book. The second one is I've got pretty much a basic, start the book type thing in my brain. I'm trying to get myself back into the fugue I did when I wrote the first book, which is basically just write the damn thing and just, I know I'm going this direction. Well, let's go this direction and not worry about it and try to make it. I was going through when I was doing this, it was like, okay, I'm going this direction. Got to make it make sense. Got to make it make sense. And it made sense in the end.
Mhm.
And it's like,
Well, work
let's
in
see if it happens.
progress.
Let's see if it happens again.
Good deal.
Like that. Plus, I got another Apple Pencil, and I'm going to be studying digital artwork.
Nice.
On Procreate. So
Nice.
that's me.
Nice. Tom, what about you?
Well, actually, Tom Stevens, who runs a server out of his own home, who has kept Star Frontiers websites up on the web for years through his generosity, just managed to figure out what was going on with the starfrontiers.us site.
Real quick, can I guess?
It was something minor, and he got it back up on the web. And so I was on it 2 days ago, and I found some stuff that I had posted I'd kind of forgotten about. And I was like, this is a great adventure.
I thought it was something to do with Java. Something was deprecated, gone now. PHP out of
It's
date.
a Drupal. It's a Drupal.
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 It's a version of Drupal that's really out of date.
Drupal is out of date, period.
Well, whatever it was wrong. It was kind of minor, but he got it back up. So I was hitting the starfrontiers.us forums and looking at some of the old posts because I really miss that website. And I came across an adventure that was all right. The last TSR campaign was the Beyond the Frontier campaign. That is now history.
Tom, real quick, what is the website called?
Starfrontiers.us.
Starfrontiers.us.
.us. It's now back up. Tons of great content. So I made 2 posts, and I was like, this is a great campaign. And so I actually spent yesterday the entire day writing it up, getting Gemini to do the science and the math for me on population numbers. All right, if there was 100 people starting this outpost, it's 80 years later. What's the population? Have it do the math, because I don't do good math.
Yeah, it's definitely a dated website, but I bet you this is just a treasure trove of info in here.
God, there's so much there. So I actually have a module. I'm like 90% done, and I know what I'm doing with the last 10%. And I was working on that today, but then this show interrupted.
Dun dun dun.
Oh man.
So it's a Star Frontiers Alpha Dawn Nighthawks campaign adventure. And my working title is On the Edge of the Expanse.
Nice.
Well, good. So
RPG Grandma's an old hand at that website too. She collaborated with me many times on the magazine.
Nice.
High respect and appreciation for RPG Grandma.
Well, it sounds like everybody's busy. That's a good thing.
Well, trying to stay busy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But so good. We got this because I remember before it was all messed up, but it seems like it's working pretty good now.
Yeah.
And looking at the last post in the open discussion, the last post was made 18 years and 39 weeks ago.
Whoa.
The first post was made, and the first post on that website was this. It said, frown, 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 frown. That's all it is. August 7th, 2007 at 7:11 a.m.
This is for $.us?
Yep.
I don't think the last post was made 18 years ago.
No, the first post.
The first post.
18.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, general forums. I'm looking at it right now. The general forums, I went to the first post all the way back, and it is literally frown, 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 frown. It's like almost he's testing it probably.
Yeah, it was such a great place to collaborate with, because people would talk about something and then you give your perspective, somebody else would chime in. And I just ate all that up because I would steal from everybody's ideas and then come up with new stuff all the time. And since that website is just kind of dated and old and nobody goes there anymore, I'm forced to.
But why?
Brainstorm with, one, because it's slow.
Well,
it's on old code.
But if it's old and it wasn't working, that's probably why people stopped going to it. But people know it's working now. They probably start using it again.
Well, there was this evolution where people just started going to where's Eric?
Discord?
Discord, yeah.
Yeah, they're
people started going to Discord and Facebook more, and it just got slow, and it was near impossible, I guess, for the full site to be done to a more up-to-date code and keep all the old features. And I was pretty adamant that I wanted certain features kept that I really liked about that site.
Well, I mean, the thing is it's people like, those are just treasure troves. That website is should be archived. It really needs to be protected and archived. And those databases should really be backed up and just locked where people can't get into them unless just to view them, because that's those websites are just gems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because just bouncing around 2 days ago, looking at it caused me to go, oh, hey, look at this content.
RPG Grandma. I love you. I agree. I hate Discord also. It is I don't like it. I like old fashioned web forums.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, web forums are only as good as the moderators.
That's right.
So, but other than that, it's 1:40, just a lunchtime little break in the afternoon.
It certainly is.
We could probably get scooting now. We've got
Now I'm thinking of you. You got me thinking about your old Star Frontier. You got me thinking about the old TSR Marvel website.
Hmm,
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's a bet. Is that still around?
it's still around. Believe it or not, all the books are there. You can download them.
Wow.
And
Where at? What's the website?
I don't remember the just go. That's what Google
Google
for.
That was the part of the screen that we moved it.
Yeah. Geez, I got to do everything for you. Hey,
Please, Mossa. Can I have some Mossa?
I'm doing that. I'm doing
But
that.
yeah, but it's basically Star Frontiers Join the Revival. It's
It's classicmarvelforever.com.
What is it again? Sorry.
Classicmarvelforever.com.
Huh, here it is.
And still there.
Wow. Boy, you could tell these are some dated websites. Holy shit.
Yeah, but look at the resources.
Oh, I know.
Under
I'm not
download.
knocking it. I just think it's funny when you look at these little things. These are like little pockets on the internet of like should never be taught. This should never be messed with. This should be just like saved.
This should go straight into the Wayback Machine.
Yes. Go to resource, like go to links.
Well,
I
the
bet you-
Wayback Machine loses things. If that people aren't going and consulting that way, you'll go to that website and then there's a picture, because I've crawled the Wayback Machine for lost Star Frontiers content. So I find a page, but the map is missing. It's no longer there in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah. That's why you should have your own wiki, like me and Steve have. Make your own wiki. That way, all of your stuff is protected forever. Nobody can mess with it. So, well, gentlemen, it is Tuesday afternoon. It is 1:42 in the afternoon.
Certainly is.
It is. Well, it's actually 12:42 where Glenn's at, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, Steve, Tom, Glenn, thank you for coming on today.
Hey, no problem.
I guess let's see here. Thursday, we're going to be back with the vlog of many things.
Yeah.
Then
Friday
evening.
Yes.
Yeah, because Friday afternoon at 1:00, me and Brooklyn DeGenis, who's from the Netherlands, we're going to be doing a model discussion on for like studio scale plastic models, resin models, that type of thing. We're going to start doing a 1:00 show every Wednesday.
And this guy knows models right there.
I know a little bit about model building, a little bit. But thank you, Glenn. Matt Sherman says, thanks for the lunch distraction, guys. Need to get the meeting. Take it easy. Have a good afternoon. Chad, thank you again. RPG Grandma, thanks for being part of the discussion.
Grandma.
Lucerne, everybody, thank you again coming on. And we will be back on Thursday and Friday evening. We're going to be back. And
doing something.
We'll see if the squirrels are running for Tom because they seem to be operating. Days seem to be okay with him.
Yeah.
It's the evening that binds us up.
Well, I've followed all the recommendations from ChatGTP and what my problem was, and it worked. So that's not to say that Chat knows what it's talking about, because sometimes it hallucinates.
A little bit.
Sometimes it's smoking some digital pixels that are just.
Speaking of, I missed him. I had to bring up smoking some digital pixels. I missed him. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Everybody in chat, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm going to go back to my wife now and say, hey, I was partially right on that publishing thing.
Don't get me in the middle
Don
of it.
Don says so.
Thank you. Sure.
Partially about best I can do.
Is Grim Creations. That's right. Binds you up like old MRE cheese spread. That's right.
Ooh, yeah.
That'll pack your colon.